Hi everyone, it's Miranda, and for today's video, I'm creating a Bible journaling page with product from Sweet and Sassy Stamps. This is also a giveaway hop, and it's open worldwide, and I will give you some more details on that later, but let's get started for now. So I'm using the Sweet and Sassy Stamp set called Mason Jar Bouquet, and the scripture I'm journaling is Proverbs 17:17, which says, "A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity." In other words, friends and relatives are there for us to help in times of need. So I thought this scripture would go perfectly with this sentiment in my stamp set that simply says, "Love always." And my focal point will be the beautiful bouquet of flowers in the stamp set. So I have everything stamped in my Lawn Fawn waterproof ink, so that way it'll work well with my watercolor pencils. And I'm going to begin with my green and just do one color at a time. That way they don't bleed into each other and they have time to dry in between. I'm going to be using my green watercolor pencil, and I'm going to do the leaves first, of course. And so all I'm doing is just scribbling in some color that's nothing fancy. I'm basically just outlining the leaves and also placing darker shade of green in where the shadows would be, or where the leaves are maybe gathered, or in the center. And so that's all I'm doing here. It's really just very simple coloring. Now I do have two shades of green. I'm using this darker green first, and then I will follow up with my lighter green, which is more like a lime green, to add some highlights. So after I have everything outlined nice and dark with this darker green, I'll go in with the lighter one, which is like a lime green, I think is the name of it. No, wait, lemongrass. I was way off. But it's a lime green, but it's called lemongrass. So I added some lighter color of the lemongrass in, you can see there. And then I'm going to use my water brush and just blend that all together. I'm not trying to paint really into the lines, I guess. I'm just letting it flow outside the lines, and that way it gives me a nice washed watercolor look. I'm not trying to make it perfect and pristine. This is just a very loose coloring, and so this is especially easy for those of us that naturally have trouble staying in the lines. So this is a great easy project for those of us that can get a little bit sloppy at times. It actually adds to the look of the watercolor. So you can see here when I add the water, it just blends seamlessly, and the two colors blend really nicely together, and it just gives you the exact look that you're going for without too much fuss. And what I do when I want to add a little bit of darker green in the shadows is I actually take my water brush directly to the watercolor pencil, and that will give me more concentrated color. And you can just dab the color on and it's more concentrated and darker. Now if you want it to be even darker than what I'm showing here, have your water brush a little bit drier when you do this technique, and I think you'll be really happy with the results. So there is the green, and I'm going to go ahead and begin with my blue. Like I told you, I'm doing one color at a time, and on the blue I'm just doing these little bluebell flowers. I think that's the name of them. Blue bonnets, something like that. Don't know all the flower names, but I do know they are pretty. And so I am just adding a dot of blue. It's super easy. Like I say, this doesn't have to be really neat because we're going for that washed watercolor look anyway. I think these little blue flowers are so cute. They're just so tiny and petite, and I think they're adorable. So I am just going to color those in, and as I'm coloring those in, I will also use my blue for the hydrangea there to your lower right. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this giveaway. So this is a giveaway hop, and first off, many of you have asked me, what exactly is a hop? To make it short, basically it's where you hop from participating channel to see all of the creations and to comment to give you more chances to win the giveaway. So Sweet and Sassy Stamps has generously donated a $20 gift code to one lucky winner for this giveaway. And remember, it is open worldwide, so everyone is welcome to enter. 18 years of age or older. So if you want to enter, just see my link below, and it is a Rafflecopter link, and that will redirect you to the page where you can enter. So now we'll continue on with the coloring of the beautiful flowers, and I'm going to go ahead and finish up these beautiful hydrangeas. Now, in case you didn't know, my favorite flower is hydrangeas. And that's very useful information, because if you ever want to send me a bouquet of flowers, you'll know hydrangeas are the way to go. No, I'm totally kidding, but really, I think hydrangeas are so pretty. They just, oh, I love them. I love the colors they come in and everything. So that's enough on hydrangeas, but I had to put that little plug in for the hydrangeas because they are awesome flowers. They're beautiful. I've had them before. They're very hard for me to keep alive, but I think they're pretty to look at. I'm just adding a little bit of shadowing in the hydrangeas just to give them some dimension. And then I'm going to continue with the lily on the far left. And this reminds me a lot of like an Easter lily. And so I decided to do it in that real pretty pink shade, but then I added in some purple because I didn't want it to be just straight pink. And once I blend those two colors together, it gave me a really nice color. And then to finish off, I just have the two beautiful flowers in the front. To me, they look a lot like roses, and I suppose they could be like a carnation or something, but I'm going to color them as roses. I'm going to do one in orange and one in red. And as I was pointing out there, I basically added brown for my shadowing, but when you blend it in with the water brush, it's not going to show up brown. It just shows up as shadows. And then for the water, I just outlined it with a beautiful teal shade of blue, and I'm using a lot of water on my water brush to blend this out because I want a very light wash of color. I don't want a real heavy blue for my water, and so I want most of the color to be concentrated around the edge of the mason jar glass so it looks more realistic. I wanted to journal the scripture, the one that I read you in Proverbs 17:17, and so up at the top I have written the part that says a friend loves at all times, and I did that first in pencil, and then I'm going to outline it in my micron pen, just a very fine point pen. And the good thing about these micron pens is that they dry really quickly, so I can erase this like within seconds after outlining it and it won't smear. So that's why I use these. They do slightly shadow through your page. They don't bleed through if you don't put too many layers, but you'll see a little bit of shadowing on the back. That's not really a problem for me because I can always add something on the back page if I'm journaling there to cover that, and it just makes me be more creative that way. So I don't prep my page at all. If you want to, you can prep your page with some gesso, but it's certainly not required. And so after I have that outlined, I'll go ahead and erase the ink. Erase the pencil underneath the ink, and that way it will look, finished, right? Now it looks kind of like, oh my goodness. Now all of the calligraphy people are shaking their heads, but after I outline it, I think it looks tons better. And you can see I've outlined the stamp there to give it some more definition, and I have stamped at the bottom the sentiment that comes with the stamp set, love always, and added the little exclamation point with my pen. So that is all for today's project. I hope you enjoyed, and I want to thank Sweet and Sassy Stamps for hosting this giveaway. Don't forget to check the description box for the next person. Thanks for watching.